This week, I realized good enough isn't good enough anymore. Welcome to my week 28 of being a YouTube content creator. For this week's stats, I now have 32 videos and 12 shorts published. I got 438 views, I got 25 likes, 0 dislikes, I gained 2 new subscribers, and I got 25.3 watch hours. This week, I decided to go back to publishing my videos at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. Initially, I thought I was seeing a big impact, but then really I didn't see that big of an impact on the subsequent weeks. And the other reason is really my vanity. I like to wake up in the morning and see that I've already gotten a couple of views on my videos. I think I'm starting to give myself some higher expectations, and I don't know that I can reach them myself. While I was able to script and edit a video this week, I wasn't happy with the final results. And I think it's because I'm expecting a little bit more from myself at this stage, and I don't know if those expectations I'm not ready to meet. Let me give you some more context on that. I started by filming a video on making fresh milled flour tortillas for the very first time. And this is usually a very challenging thing to work with, fresh milled flour tortillas. And so I wanted to frame the concept of the video different than just an actual cooking video. But because I had filmed it like a cooking video, I didn't know how to restructure the footage that I had so that it could be different. And so I was trying to research and get ideas on how can I use this content but not make it a cooking video. And I just couldn't come up with any concept that would be different. And I think what was tying me down is because that's the way I filmed everything, as like cooking content. And so that's one thing I'm gonna have to start working on in the future, is the way that I'm filming before I start filming is like, what is the concept that I wanna do with this footage? Do I want it to be an actual cooking footage video, or do I want it to be something different? My goal with this channel is to have something that's unique, and there's tons of cooking channels out there, and there's tons of fresh milled flour videos out there, fresh milled flour tortilla videos specifically. So they don't need, I don't think the internet needs another video of just fresh milled flour tortilla recipes or me making it. But I don't know if it's because I filmed it as a cooking video that I couldn't reframe it or restructure it in a different way. And so it's been edited, it's been scripted and edited to match the format of everything else I've done on my channel. And it's gonna flow with the rest of everything else that I've done on my channel. I'm just not happy with that final result. I wanted something unique, something different, and I don't think I delivered on that at all. So I think starting this week, I'm going to try to start thinking about when I'm recording something, what is the end result that I'm trying to get to? Am I trying to do a cooking video? If I'm not, how can I reframe it before I start filming so I don't run into this issue? Because I can't edit out, I can re-edit or reformat the video that I don't know how I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't edit the video in a different way than it's been recorded, I guess. If I film a cooking video, I can't reframe that into a non-cooking video. And I don't know if that's, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I really need to have a plan in place before I start filming, so that I can make sure that when it's time for editing, I can get to an end product that I'm going to be happier with, keeping in mind that that end product isn't going to be something typical that I already see out in the internet. So when I'm starting to when I'm starting to film another cooking video, I need to sit down and think, how can I make this unique and different from everything else that's out there so that I don't run into this problem again in the future? For research this week, I did a lot of research as far as trying to figure out how to restructure my video so it's not just another cooking video. And so I was really trying to find different ways to change the story up a little bit, and I just couldn't find anything that would have reframed it in a different way. And so I did a lot of research, but I didn't get anything useful. For my homesteading channel, I actually did quite a bit of research. First, I have a problem with mushrooms in my garden. And normally mushrooms are a good thing, but there was so many and it was like overtaking my whole garden. So I started off with asking ChatGPT, is the mushrooms okay for my garden? And it said that, yeah, it was fine to leave the mushrooms in the garden because it's a good sign of healthy soil. And then that it would eventually die off when the sun comes up and then kills it. Well, I went back outside. It was like 3 o'clock, and here 3 o'clock in Texas, we are like 90 degrees. So I went back outside and the mushrooms were still there. So I went back and I asked ChatGPT again, what happens if the mushrooms don't go away? And so he goes, well, then it might be too much of, what is it, a fungus? And if it makes me uncomfortable, to wear some gloves, to pull them out of the garden, don't let them compost in place, but put them in the trash and remove them that way. And so I did that. I removed them out of the garden. It also said that the possible causes is if there's a lot of wood at the bottom of the garden bed or I'm overwatering it. And what I did this year that's different from my other garden bed is that I did fill the bottom of my garden beds with more wood products to give it some bulk so that I don't have to buy as much good soil. The soil is expensive. And so giving the garden bed all that extra like wood scraps helps it to, helps me to save money. And so I did that, and I think that's the cause for the mushrooms, plus I think I was overwatering it. The thing that has me baffled is that it's only one bed. The other two beds that I also did the same thing, it's called the hugelkultur method, I think, where I also filled the bottom with a lot of big chunks of wood first and then put the soil on top. I don't see any mushrooms growing in those garden beds. So that was the first thing that I researched. The second thing that I researched was my tomato plants were having some kind of black spots and some of them were dying. So I took a picture of the tomato plants and I asked, again, ChatGPT, is this something I need to worry about? And he said, yes, for some of the tomatoes, they were too far gone. Go ahead and pull them out and discard them. But some of them, he said they were too, I keep calling him a he, it. Well, he said, it said that they were still good tomato plants. He wouldn't pull them, I'm just going to call him a he. He wouldn't pull them out just yet. But to give it more fertilizer and see if I get more fresh green growth to leave those there. And so those were kind of the things that I researched this week for my homesteading channel. Oh, I did research one more thing because I filmed a video on it as well. I filmed how to organize my seeds so that I can be productive. And so here in Texas, there's two main growing seasons. And so I got, this one was from Google, some suggestions on how to organize my seeds so that I will be easier. So it'll be easier for me to keep on track of what I need to start when and what I need to get into the ground when. For editing this week, again, I edited 2 videos. The first one was an anchor video to finish off season 2. This one was a lot of fun to edit. So I found a clip of music, and what I did to enhance the editing was I timed the clips with the music. So the different beats of the music. And this was some of the editing tips that I got when I was researching, and it came out great. I really loved it. This scares me tremendously. Sausage, get a nice crust attached to it. I just murdered mine. Look at the kitchen. Where I struggled with this video was that it was all using clips from the last 2 seasons. So I had spent a lot of time just going back and trying to find good footage that I can insert into this recap video. So I spent, 5 days working on this anchor episode, and it's only a 3-minute video. And so that was a little bit disappointing when I realized that, oh my gosh, I spent all this time and the video is only 3 minutes, but it took so long because I was sifting through all of my old footage. So that's prompted me to think of how can I organize my footage so that I can be more efficient, because I do plan on doing these anchor episodes after each season. And so in order for me to make them efficiently, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm storing my footage on my hard drive in a way that I can find things quickly. The second video I edited was that fresh milled flour tortilla video. Actually, it wasn't on just fresh milled flour. What it was about was me getting back on track after having a few weeks of being off track because I was on travel a lot. So the first week I had gone on business travel, then I came back, and then we went on another mini vacation, or we went on a mini vacation to a family-run rodeo in Longview, Texas, and then we came back, and then we went on another mini vacation to Fort Worth to get around and just see the area and get my son out of the house for his summer break. And so all of that time being out of the house, we We ate out a lot. We ate a lot of junk food. We had big portions at the restaurant. And so while it was fun being out and getting to explore and getting to try new things, getting back home, I needed to reset and get back into my routine. And so that's what that video was about. And that one was the one where I was trying to reframe that cooking that I did in that video into a different story. For video scripting this week, I didn't really struggle because I followed the format I've been using for the last 2 seasons. So it was fairly easy to script. I just, at this point, I think I'm wanting to level up my scripting and my editing and bring in a new element. And that's where I kind of struggled with. I wanted to change things up a bit. With each new season that I go into, my goal is to make the season a little bit different from the season before. And I think that's why I was struggling this week with that, trying to script that second video because it is starting into the new season. And so I really want to try every season to try to change something so that it doesn't look so monotonous. And also with every video, I'm trying to find a way to improve each video. So learning about, because I have that background music in each of my videos, so learning about the beats in each of the songs that I can time my clips to the songs, that was a great find for researching and understanding how I can improve my videos. So now when I'm editing my videos, I'm looking at the beat and I'm seeing how do I want to link each of the footage that I'm adding to the music so that it flows seamlessly. I'm also trying to make sure that I'm adding footage to when I'm talking. So when I'm breaking in my speech, that could be a break in the video so that it goes along with my speech as well, my voiceovers. I've started bringing in transitions between the clips so I don't have so many hard transitions between each of my clips as I'm breaking things up. That one was getting a little bit cumbersome to deal with, especially when I had a lot of clips that I was going through. But that's one that I'm trying to work on, is when can I transition a little bit smoother between my clips so that it's not so jarring for the viewers. But at the end of the day, I think my biggest find and my best editing improvement was learning how to link my clips with the beats of the music that I have. This week I recorded 227 clips, and of those 227, 181 was on my Insta360, and then the 46 were on my iPhone. Most of my footage this week was recording stuff out in the garden, but I also did record organizing or setting up the organization of my seeds. One thing that I've noticed, because I have continued to use the Insta360 for almost everything but my recaps, is that the battery life on the Insta360 is very short. And while I do have 4 batteries, I find that it's very cumbersome to have to pause everything and switch out the batteries. And then I like to give the Insta360 a little bit of time to like cool down because it gets hot. And I did research that it's normal for the Insta360 to warm up that much because it's fully enclosed. It's a waterproof camera, so it's fully enclosed, which means that the battery heats up and all the heat gets pulled out to the exterior of the camera unit. And so, and when I'm switching out the batteries, I'm also giving it a few minutes to cool back down, which then again interrupts the flow of filming. And I've never had that problem with my iPhone, so I don't know. I'm still going to stick to the Insta360. I think I do like recording with it. It's easier to maneuver around, especially outside in the garden, opposed to my iPhone. So I'm going to stick with it, but I'm just disappointed that the battery life doesn't last as long. For spend this week, I didn't have to spend any money on my YouTube channel. I did spend some stuff for my homesteading channel, but nothing for YouTube. For my schedule this week, starting with my YouTube tasks, I spent most of the week working on that anchor video. And again, that's because I was really sifting through all of my old footage, trying to get clips that would work with the music and the beats of the music. So that was fun. I really enjoyed making that anchor video. It just took so much time sifting through all my old footage. And then on Saturday, I started editing the video for the Getting Back on Track. And I was able to edit and get to mostly a full video. It's standard to what I've done before, and I want to try to do something different. So while I have a fully edited video, I haven't committed to publishing it because I'm still trying to figure out if there's any way that I can reframe it or spin it so that it's a little bit different than what I've been doing so far. For my workouts this week, so I have my strength training. I originally had them for Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I decided to switch it to Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because come Friday, I'm just not in the mood to do anything. And usually I have every other week I have a 980 where I'm off on that Friday. And so because I'm off and I'm running around, that is a reason I don't have like a lunch hour to do my strength training. So I decided to try to switch it where I do Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday instead, because those weeks I will always have a lunch break. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday worked perfectly. And I didn't have any resistance to it. Come lunch hour on each of those days, I jumped right into my strength training session. So I think I finally found a good fit. And I'm trying to figure out what is going to be a good structure for my workouts. I've been doing full body strength training sessions Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays because I have that in between day to rest. And with Wednesday and Thursday, because they're back to back, what I did last week was I did my full body on Wednesday and then just lower body on Thursday. But what I might end up doing is doing full body on Monday, upper body on Wednesday, and lower body on Thursday so that I have a good split so I can really push myself to lift heavy on those days and then give my body enough time the remainder of the week to recover. For my dinners this week, I cooked at home every day except Friday. And the reason why is because I gave myself a new challenge this week as part of my homesteading channel. Because we're in the dead heat of summer here in Texas and we're in the triple digit heat days, I was trying not to turn on my oven or my stove and cook with just my small appliances. So I cooked using just my pressure cooker, my George Foreman grill, and my air fryer. And every day was a new challenge to try to figure out how I can cook all of my meals using just my small appliances. And that was a lot of fun. I think I did pretty good. Do I have any accomplishments for this week? And no, I can't list anything as an accomplishment for this week. For emotions and well-being, emotionally, I was really struggling because I really was putting some high expectations on myself to be able to level up my editing on my recent video. And so I spent a lot of time trying to think of a way to reframe a cooking video into a non-cooking video. And so I really was kind of frustrated with myself because I could not figure out how to reframe this footage. And I don't know if it's because of the way that I filmed it or just there was no inspiration behind doing it a different way. The end product of the video is matches the rest of my channel. I think it's going to be the same as everything else that you've seen on my channel. It's not bad, but it's not great. And so I'm trying to find a way to improve my videos and make things a little bit different and make them unique. And that's my goal, is with all of these videos, how can I make them unique? Not only from each other, from videos that I already have on my channel, but from videos that are out there already on the internet as well, on YouTube. Physically, I felt great. Getting all my strength training in was wonderful. And also I've been slowly improving and getting more cardio in as well. And now that is helping me sleep better. So I think physically I'm starting to get to a better point. I'm not losing weight yet, but again, I haven't really gotten my nutrition in check, but getting all that extra movement in and getting those strength training in, I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling more flexible. And so that's been working great. Let's move into my goals. My first goal is always to make sure I'm setting up my daily planner so that I can keep track of the things that are important that I need to make sure that I'm doing on a daily basis. So those things are my YouTube tasks, my strength training sessions, and my dinners. And this week, again, I did not prep my planner at the beginning of the week. I've been prepping my planner at the morning of each day. And other than my strength training, because I did write in my strength training sessions when I want to do them, everything else I've kind of been taking time in the morning to try to figure out what I want to do. And I think that's been working really good for me because I really like that flexibility to decide what I want to do that day. And if I need to change things around, it's not something that's written in stone that I can't change up, but also I don't have to mess up my planner by erasing and rewriting and erasing. So that's been really good for me. And I think that's the structure that I'm going to continue to do, is every morning before I start work, right after my Bible study, is take a few minutes to write in everything that I want to do for that day. I'm still worried that there might be some tasks that might be falling off if I don't have like a running list of priorities. So that's something that I'm going to work on, is maybe where do I keep a running list of priorities to make sure that I'm including it into my week. My next goal is to journal daily, and this week I only journaled 5 days. And while I did like the prompts that I'm using, I don't know that I'm necessarily getting what I want out of them just yet. I'm not going to give up on them. I think maybe I just haven't reached a flow with them that is really getting me to open up. And so I think I'm going to give it a few more weeks still using the same prompts and see if maybe it's just me being hesitant or me taking my time to really open up during my journaling sessions. So I think they're good prompts. I just don't think they are getting me what I want. And let me read them to you real quick just so you can see which ones that I have. So the first one is, write the single most notable thing I built, planted, or fixed today. And I don't focus on building, planting, or fixing. I just cut it to what's the most notable thing I did today. And that's something that can help me because it could be both YouTube related or homesteading related. So that first prompt is the action. The second prompt is the friction, and it says the exact point where things didn't go according to plan. And then the third prompt is the feeling, and that is a completely unfiltered thought about how I feel about my progress today. And so those are the things that I'm trying to write through as I'm journaling to see if anything prompts me to be able to focus on fixing. And I think actually one of those did prompt me into doing more research with my garden, which is something that I really filmed a lot this week. So with the journaling, I scheduled it for me to do at 8:30 every evening. And what I'm finding is that at 8:30 every evening, I'm usually still editing a video. And I don't want to step away from editing the video because I want to get to a finished product. So I need to make sure that I'm forcing myself to stop at 8:30 and focus on journaling. There's no reason for me to have to continue into editing all the way into 10 p.m. at night or something. I can take a short break to journal and then get back to editing if I still feel like it. So I really need to give myself more stricter work hours for YouTube so that I'm not spending my entire evening from the time I'm done cooking dinner, which is around 6:30 till 10 p.m. Working on editing videos. My next goal is to track all my nutrition and food that I eat in MyFitnessPal. And while I am loosely tracking, I'm not tracking for the purpose that I originally intended. So what I wanted to do was make sure that I was getting 100 grams of protein a day, a minimum, and at least 25 grams of fiber. And so while I am tracking, I'm not really focusing on getting those goals in. So I think with the upcoming week, I'm going to focus on really getting to those goals of the protein and the fiber, and then see if I can still keep within the calorie count, but really focusing on those two things, because I think when I focus on those two things, I snack less. My last goal is to create a short every other week, and this is my off week, so I didn't have to create a short. Do I have any milestones for this week? And no milestones to list for this week. My friend, that is going to wrap up week. I'm getting tongue-tied. My friend, that is going to wrap up week 28 of being a YouTube content creator. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time, and I hope to see you again next week.